Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta and this is my 15k subscribers special. Well, it's almost 16, which is awesome, but anyway, I want to do something special. I want to do a giveaway to you, my dear subscribers, together with Sonarworks. So, stay tuned. I published the recording, songwriting, mixing and mastering video just a while ago, link in the description if you're interested. And I got so much really good feedback, which I feel really grateful from you and from the companies. And Sonarworks was one of them. So we've been in contact. I actually bought this myself, so this isn't sponsored, or that video wasn't, nobody sponsored that, the gear I used on that. So we were in contact and we agreed. They were kind enough to suggest that, hey, awesome video, man, would you like to do a giveaway or contest? So I'm gonna give away one of these SoundID Reference for speakers and headphones with the measuring mic, and one digital license for headphones and speakers. So you would need to buy this mic or some other condenser mic. This is probably the best because it's designed by Sonarworks just for this purpose, but some other mics will work too. And how this will work, please watch the video and then comment shortly, why you should have, or just say, hi Euge, I want that, or whatever you want. So I will randomly choose two people that are my subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so if you wanna have a chance to win. What is Sonarworks SoundID Reference? It says pretty well here. Full confidence in sound and goodbye sound coloration. As we know, it's really important that we as musicians, sound engineers, whatnot, that we can trust what we hear, really trust what we hear. No matter if the room is really well, acoustically treated. Mine is pretty okay. I have bass traps, panels, acoustic thick curtain. The speakers are really good, Genelecs, but still I was always a bit if I sat here or here or here, the low end was different, and I really couldn't trust what I actually hear. That because when we mix, when we record, we don't want to have any coloration from the speakers, no bass boost, no treble boost. It needs to be flat so we can actually hear how things sound. So what I'm gonna do next, I have calibrated these, probably you can see the curves there, but I will do this again and show you what you need to do, and so you can see and hear how it's done and what are the results when we do this. Let's get to the screen and I will show you. As you can see, I have here a profile already, but let's do a new one. Measure your speakers. Phantom power is switched. Yes, the phantom power here is switched on my audio interface. Make sure your microphone input is not routed directly. No, it's not routed directly to speakers, it's connected here to my audio interface. Single audio interface is used. Yes, it's the Steinberg UR816C. Sample rate is exactly to 44.2.1. Let me see, I usually use 48, but I have set it to 44 now. Great. Let's do that next. And then it asks for you to put your mic's code ID. This is correct. That's my ID for this mic, and it shows the microphone calibration. So as you can see, there's a slight increase around 70 Hz and 10K. Okay? Tap the microphone lightly. Yeah, cool. Play a test track. Make sure your output volume is set to conversation level.
Please adjust the volume of your output device. My voice should sound at normal conversation volume.
Yeah.
Left speaker.
Yeah.
Right speaker.
Sounds okay. Adjust the microphone input gain. First, let's adjust the microphone gain so we can make sure we detect the microphone correctly during measurements. Let's do that. And here's instructions how to position correctly. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's do that. Increase the input gain of your device. Okay, I need to do it more. Okay. Done. So now the input gain is matched and everything should be in order. And here's the instruction on how to measure the speakers. It's really important, don't stand between the speakers, obviously, and stand on the outer side of the speakers, because this measures the room also. So obviously we don't want to be like here, but we need to be like this. Position the microphone, want to choose a for the center of the mid-range driver. Mid-range driver is, on two-way speakers, it's the bigger one. Start measuring. Left, and it says left speaker first, okay?
Stay where you are. Measurements in progress. Left speaker done. Stay where you are. Measurements in progress. Right speaker done.
Awesome. Now let's continue. Review setup dimensions. If the distance doesn't match, well, let me get a measuring tape to make sure. Not the measuring tape or whatever. This says it's 124. This says it's 1 from the center to the center, it's 132. Okay, so let's increase this one. 132, it is. Alright? Locate your listening spot. Where I normally sit while I'm listening. Well, I sit here. Stand at the listening position and point at my speaker point. So it was here. So I'm gonna stand here. Review setup dimensions. If the distances don't match your setup, adjust them accordingly. Well, that was 132. This is on the center. It's actually 110 here on this exact spot. So let's put pretty cool. So ideally these should be symmetrical, but since these are on stands, I really can't make them to be any. But it's fine. Listening area measurements. And here's again instructions, don't stand behind, keep the microphone away from your body. Alright, start measuring. Alright, I did a little bit fast forward since this took about 20 minutes, but it's done. Show results. This is how your speakers sound from Euge Studios, and the curve should be flat. So as you can see on these Genelecs, there's a big dip at 100 Hz, and in general the low mids are emphasized. So that's why it was always really hard to tell what's going on in there. And then there's a kind of dip around 800 Hz, and then, well, this is just blah blah blah, and then there's a dip around 80 Hz and a boost again at 65, it says. Okay, and now name your speaker profile. Let's put this EV Genelec October 21. Launch SoundID Reference. Here's the Genelec October, which I just created. Okay, and now it shows. As you can see, this is the target, the black line. You know that it should be completely flat. So this was this was before these two. So as you can see, the curve, the left darker is the left, and the not so dark is the right. So they are a little bit different. I mean, because this takes the room into consideration also. Like I showed you, and like you can see, there's a dip around 80, so that boosted that, and then there was a huge bump at 100, it cut that out, and so it makes, so pretty much from 20k until 100 and a little bit over 100 Hz, it's pretty flat. But then here, because these are a little bit smaller speakers, there's a little bit inconsistency in the low frequency area, but it's quite flat, at least, you know, compared to what it was. There's still a little tiny amount of bump at 100 Hz and a little bit dip around 85 and a little bit around like 65 or something, but the low end is now much more consistent. And I have a calibration profile for these Sennheiser HD 6550. So if you saw the video I mentioned earlier about the recording and mixing, I checked the low end with these. I've been thinking of getting a bit larger speakers so that the low end will be more accurate, and so that I won't always have to check it with speakers, but these have worked for me for 10 years, so I haven't done that. Okay, let's actually now listen how these sound. What's the difference? There's two ways now that you will hear this. The screen recording, which I'm doing, and then I have a microphone, a Rode microphone on top of the camera, so you can hear how the room sounds and how it changes. Obviously the screen recording will probably sound a bit weird to you since it's calibrated to these speakers and to this room. But let's first listen that sound. So you'll be sitting kind of a little bit behind me, so you probably could hear it as close as possible as I'm hearing this now. And this song is actually the song that I wrote on that recording and mixing, but we've rewritten it. We've done pre-production because it looks like that it's gonna be on Sarah's next album. So this is how it sounds now. So first we're gonna listen it with the calibration on. And off. So that was that mic. As you heard, when it was on, it was so clear, the high end, everything. It was when I turned it off, you know, this became really audible, the 100 bump. And the highs were a little bit darker, and it was just strange. Because before this sound reference, when I mixed, I always needed to go to check the mixes to the car, to whatever, because it was like, but now I don't have to do any of that, because the speakers are pretty much flat, except on this low frequency, there's a little bit, but compared to what it was, it's like total difference. Amazing product. And what we have here, listening spot is enabled, linear phase. Then if you're recording with this, I suggest putting the zero latency, because obviously you don't want to notice a latency when you're recording, but when I'm listening or mixing, I use the linear phase, so it's zero latency, the quality is the best. Save headroom enabled, that's because it changes the curve, so it just to prevent some peaks. So it was a few dBs quieter, but actually not that much, because that's just cool to have on. And the listening spot was enabled. So this is really cool. And then you can check, like I said, before I needed to go to check to my car, but now if I want to do that, I don't even have to go to the car, because here's profiles. Car 1, harsh sounding entry-level sound system. How this sounds in a car, a luxury SUV, it's just amazing. So you can actually check straight here how this sounds in different environments, which is absolutely mind-boggling. Man. Okay, so that's that. And then now let's listen to the screen recording. Hopefully that screen recording works, the audio. So let's listen how that sounds. Okay, so big difference. I mean, the speakers are great, and I've had this reference system now for about year or so, maybe not that much. And when I put it this first time, it was like, holy moly, like, jeez, really strong recommendation. And like I said, this is not sponsored. I bought this, and now big thanks to Sonarworks. They liked my mixing video and stuff, and they suggested that if I want to do a giveaway, and I was like, sure. And I thought that this 15,000 subscribers mark is a great spot to do that. Enter your chance to win this package with the calibration mic, and this comes also with there's like thousands of profiles for different headphones, so you can have this, and the other is the digital license. So it's the same package but just without the microphone. So you would have to buy if you want this microphone, or if you have another condenser microphone that you like to use. That's that. Again, thank you all of you who have watched and commented my videos and subscribed my channel. Like I said, I'm a bit late, since I think it's almost close to 16,000 now, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, comment below. So just why you should have. But please don't write anything long. Just, something. And then I will randomly pick. And yes, now it's Thursday, 21st, 2021. On Thursday, what's next week, Thursday? No, let's say on Friday, 29th, I will randomly choose 2 people. So the competition ends on Friday, 29th October 2021. So if you're watching this after that, I'm sorry, but the competition is over. But yeah, anyways, bye.